Welcome to the finale of Red Faction. We're almost at the end, guys, and it's about time our rebellion finally got some momentum going.
How many more people Dwibs will actually shoot in this part that are armored?
Well, let's count, shall we?
Sure.
Not even 30 seconds in.
They were in the way anyway.
Of course, you're in my way, sir.
Hey, now we're in space. Zero gravity.
Oh, that again. Yeah, that's actually cute. Again, it showcases also on some of the levels with Mars. You can definitely tell that this game tried to break the mold a bit from the traditional type of FPS, wanted to have an identity of its own, and decided to employ its gimmick, some physics by having, destructible walls, like in those specific seasons, in this case, zero gravity. That's pretty cool. I can definitely tell why they wanted this to be just more than basically a Quake clone.
Oh, look, he's already wanted.
Well, we saw it earlier. And,
we don't know how much time has passed, but I'm guessing not much. Whoa.
Even the bodies can float in low gravity.
I thought they were going to carry that.
Nah.
I am curious, actually. Like, it's cool that you can move bodies, but I don't think we've seen yet what it can really do Okay, what advantage it provides gameplay-wise.
We don't want anyone seeing any bodies if we're trying to do sneaking missions.
Oh, I guess we haven't seen that because you have definitely not really bothered with sneaking a lot in this game.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's why I let those two guys live.
You wanted to save ammo?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Oh my god, you actually had a heart for a moment there.
Oh,
that's why you didn't kill them.
What a thrill!
The darkness is silent from the night.
Oh,
yeah.
Red.
The secondary fire of this gun is that you can see through walls using the
Oh, so you are so supreme. Oh, there you go. Let's climb the ladder. Come on, let's climb the ladder. I'm still in a dream, Snake Eater.
Admittedly, Red Faction would be a perfectly, potential name for a PMC group in the Metal Gear universe. So.
Oh, speaking of.
Oh, and now I guess we're on the Death Star. What the hell is wrong with these corridors?
Oh, and now we're in Near Automata. Kind of looks like the ship.
Bunker.
Yeah.
Speaking of Metal Gear,
what was that guy doing? He jumped and then did a twirl in midair. Yeah, but he did a little twirl in midair like he was dancing.
Speaking of Metal Gear, I actually managed to buy Metal Gear Survive at a really discounted price.
How much?
So I guess we will be able to cover that for
I can
the
imagine
channel.
at this point they're throwing it for pocket change.
It cost me £7, but
yeah, understandable. I found Left Alive at a similar price the other week. So.
the OS is breaking up, guys.
I forget, was Left Alive a good game or not?
From what I heard, not really, but I want to test it on my own skin. At the very least, it wasn't a franchise killer because thanks to the remakes that are going on the Switch, at least the front mission series is continuing.
So now we've lost contact with our leader.
Hopefully he's not dead.
Now we've got to improvise now, don't we?
Okay, speaking of that, it's a good job those windows didn't break when I was firing the rockets.
Otherwise, it would be. I can imagine that if they had more technology, they probably tried to implement some type of, vacuum sucking mechanic. But to be fair, it would have been probably a bit weird because by the time of the PS3, Dead Space 2 had that only in cutscenes. Although Sonic Adventure 2 had that during the level of the colony.
Not to mention, with all the enemies firing everything around, I think that might have been a tad unfair.
I don't know, it would have been thematic with the environment. Not too dissimilar to breaking the surface of rocks on Mars.
Well, we're going to have to wait on that front for a bit. So,
I've lost contact with the Red Faction base.
Oh.
I can't raise EOS, Orion, or anyone else there.
Damn.
There are miners scattered all over
Damn
the
it, they're the
complex.
title
Trying
name
to
of the
contact
game.
them and
Again,
gather them together.
I know it's mostly unintentional, but the way the voice actors keeps, pronouncing the word miners is just so awkward.
What?
Also, these drones are so weird.
Leave me alone.
Oh.
They are already dead, Dwibs.
They might have been
He's
suffering
already
in mutated
dead.
forms. Remember, they're the mutations as a result of Capek's experiments.
Yeah, thanks to evil Winnie the Pooh.
For Winnie the Pooh.
Like I said, he sounded like Jim Cummings, so...
Yeah. Yeah. I'll remember that. Yes, sir. Behold my
This has
quick
got to
finger
be
tapping
the-
skills.
This has got to be the cleanest, dining room that I've ever seen.
Well, we're in space. Everything is clean in space.
Sure. Even stuff like Star Trek bother to show that, even far future space stations and Starship, the cafeterias still were a bit messy.
I guess. Alright. Medical... Oh, escape pod! But we can't use it yet. We got to deal with the, we got to crash this thing. Or blow it up.
And find
Yeah.
even the psychopathic, leader of the mercs, as you said in previous part.
Yeah, because remember, if this satellite's still off by the time the Earth Defense Force fleet comes, they're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, listen, clearing the way for later on. Just die already. There. Yeah. Escape pod access denied unless reactor overload imminent. Wait, so... I mean, really? Just reactor
We need to
overload?
be in that kind of danger to actually escape. Otherwise, fuck off.
But what if, like, the enemy's
One
attacking
day
and there's no other way?
we'll go for the rain.
Well, if only this game came out in 2004.
Well,
Then we could've
what
made
year
that
did the sequel
One day
come out?
you'll feed on a tree frog. It's amazing how he can climb a ladder while having his back turned to it.
Amazing leg skills, I guess.
I guess.
Red Faction 2 came out in 2002.
Wait, I'm on your
On
side.
PS2 at least. The GameCube, Windows, and Xbox versions came out across the middle of 2003.
Alright.
Damn, this level is very vertical.
And it's on Earth, not Mars. Weird.
So it should be
I
like
know
blue.
correctly,
So it should be
at the
called Blue Faction then.
And if I recall correctly, at the very least, the guerrilla returns to Mars, but I don't know if it's
I don't know either. I haven't played any of the other games. I only ever played this one.
Weird.
You just gotta find that other switch. Where is it?
Where's that damn fourth switch?
Experience taught me to investigate anything that has a load of flaws on it. And there's a big pool there. Although it looks pretty radioactive. Ah, there we go.
That can be good.
Right, middle, bottom, so surely top's next. Oh, there we are. Okay, now we got 90 seconds to get the fuck out of here. Yeah, fuck the ladder. I'm gonna use gravity. I mean, hey, and hey, those people I shot,
Whoa.
and hey,
I get
those
what-
all those people I shot earlier, at least they won't be blown up.
Well, consolation
They
prize.
won't die from being blown up. They'll
Also-
die. They're already dead.
I get what they're trying to do, but this shaky cam is very distracting.
Yeah.
2001.
It's like I'm having a seizure.
And oh no, that was broken. There we go.
Wow, that was actually.
And the specialist explodes and everybody dies. The end.
What a tragic tale.
4, 3, 2, 1, detach.
There we go. Ooh. And we're back on Mars.
Parker, you still
Now
alive?
what?
I've sent some miners to the crash site to find you. They'll try to guide you to the
Now we go find our mom too.
The Mercs have orders to
No,
evacuate the
thank
base
you.
and destroy the entire.
Well, shit. The entire mining complex is gonna go up.
Parker, follow me. We've got an assault team waiting for us.
Okay.
Yes, I'll follow you.
Also, were you trying to shoot him? Because I heard
Mercs didn't have to go
you
after
cannot
the
press
Red
this
Base.
button,
That was Colonel Masako's
jingle
idea.
beat,
Payback for
which
all
is
No,
usually...
that doesn't count for shooting.
No, that's the thing. Usually, maybe in some scenes where you're trying to, in a couple of games, it tends to do that. You are supposed to have a gameplay sequence where you're following a friendly NPC, and you're not even
Ah,
supposed to
shit.
shoot him. Jesus Christ! When you're
No,
trying to
I
aim
didn't
at,
shoot him.
when you're trying to aim at them, you know, usually the game tells you that you cannot do that.
Well, I didn't shoot him. Those guards did. The merc, sorry. Alright, we're in endgame territory at least.
I really have to say that the thing that's most bizarre about this game to me is the musical score. And it's not necessarily being bad, but being literally all over the place. 1 second you have very rave electronic that seems to have come out from the Matrix. The next you have this ethereal choir that's trying to really be like Halo. Like, it's very
Well, I mean, it came out
inconsistent.
the same year as Halo.
Mm-hmm. My point being is that it feels like you were just experimenting with different styles to see what would have fit more with this kind of story and gameplay.
Well, maybe we felt both. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, again, I don't even know myself how the next games are even in terms of score, so I guess we'll have to see eventually. Damn.
He never existed.
Ah, of course, we're taking the Wing Commander movie approach.
Yeah. Sorry, oh no, he don't exist. So
Let's just
I
say
won't
that let's just say that the whole concept of having a person, you know, being eradicated from the memory of others after they're dead is done much better and with the proper intention in Final Fantasy Type 0.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Whoa.
shit. There we are. Come on. You know, I gotta say though, I think there's a bit of gameplay story segregation here. They said earlier that the mercs were shooting the guards, but as well as the miners, but I have not seen that. If anything, the enemies are working together.
Oh, so it's basically Monster Hunter logic, where, you know, two factions that ideally, or in this case, it's mentioned that in story they're supposed to still fighting each other, immediately put up their differences and do not even bother killing each other, but they definitely unite to kill you the
We'll
moment
try to
you
hold
show
here
up.
and cover you, Parker. You need to meet Hendricks inside the Merc base. Good
Wow,
luck.
Hendricks is going out onto the field.
I mean, they kind of have to. You mentioned that he couldn't get in contact with the rest of them, and, you know, they were still dying. So, I get the idea they kind of needed all the help they could get.
How did you survive that rocket? No, it doesn't matter. You're on fire. You'll soon be dead. There you go.
It was behind them, and cool guys don't look at explosions.
That other guy died behind him.
And now we're back to the electronic term.
I think Dan was experimenting. Like you
Yeah,
suggested
definitely.
earlier.
Anyway, my guess is that the cleaner faction, or whoever this Masako is in charge of, my guess is that story-wise, the idea is that they're supposed to be cleaning up the mess of the rebels. The problem is that they are so insane that they will casually, quote-unquote, accidentally shoot the guards that they're supposed to be on the same side with. That or they're just crazy. And if I recall correctly,
considering who their leader is...
Yeah, you said she's apparently a psychopath, so that's probably the story idea.
Evacuation notice.
Yeah.
All companies prepare for loading into evac transports.
Dun, dun, dun,
So-
dun, 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 dun. What did Hans Zimmer get in here?
No idea.
Oh,
Is that laughing gas, sir?
it's sleeping gas.
Oh.
who
they
was
were
that
still
laughing at
Again,
us?
this was the age where sleeping gas meant that
And
you
we're in prison.
You awake over there?
Oh. And I guess your weapons have been confiscated.
Yeah.
You were a sight when they brought you in. All blood and puke. The medics worked you over and cleaned you up.
How
Why
nice
they
of them.
bothered? They're just gonna kill us all anyway.
Yeah, good point.
Something big is happening. Lots of mercs running around, moving stuff. Don't know what it is, but I bet Red Faction!
Uh-oh.
Whichever of you is part.
Well, that didn't take long.
And the guy we're just talking to is now dead.
Block 19. Reinforcements needed.
Well, okay, so...
Clearly something is
I
going
get
on
the idea
here.
that their team's budget ran out around this time and the scene that they wanted to convey, could not be
Yeah,
met
because
fully.
what really was the point of that?
I guess the idea is that the medical team, after patching him up, put him back in his armor with his guns back
Oh,
in
the armor is
cell
something that
because-
he recovered from the wall. I noticed that. But the weapon, it really
Okay,
felt
okay,
like
okay.
you were getting it from the
Here's the thing,
door.
though. The way he's dressed, though, he was dressed like that before Dwibs picked up the armor, so he must have had the armor on prior.
Whatever, yeah, that bit is kind of
I
pointless.
found your cell and sent down some miners to free you. Once you're out, head up to the Mercs HQ. We need your help.
You're only
Yeah,
hope,
that's where we were going anyway, wasn't it? So
I
what was the point
wonder-
of that?
I'm in the
like
Mercs.
Was
this
this
is
part of the-
really pointless.
I wonder, maybe the miners' plan was for us to get captured so they could free us?
No, remember the sleeping gas caught us by surprise, so
And there was evil laughter in the background.
whoa.
Oh?
That's saving the game.
No, I heard a sinister sound effect before that.
Yeah.
Death to miners!
Yeah, death to miners, which is why when you had me gassed, you didn't just kill me right then and there.
It's not even a case. Okay, my guess is that Masako wanted potentially you alive for the sake of being an asset that could be used in
But
my
it's
army.
like-
Like
no,
something
no.
like lobotomize and being used as a
But-
weapon.
No, that miner across from us when we were in prison said, I don't know why they bother, they're gonna kill us all anyway.
Weird.
Which really leads me to believe that this is a part of a secret scheme or whatnot. Otherwise, it was literally just the dev team throwing up
that
their
again,
hands and
so-
going,
yeah,
screw
the
it,
thing
this
is-
is how we get to the next
E
level.
company should now be in evac transports.
The thing is that Jova, so far the story has been presented relatively straightforward, as in rebellion happened on Mars, the guards are not able to overwhelm, the miners that are rebelling. Eventually, these PMC get sent to clean this shit up just in their own way, and now we're supposed to finish them off.
Well,
Like it's
maybe.
nothing too Shakespearean, but it hasn't presented any particular twist, at least so far.
Please!
I guess that's the idea.
Okay. Oh,
The security camera footage. I haven't used that in a while.
Oh, that's what they're useful for then. Okay. If you reach a console, you can actually check around the corridors on your own.
Wait, did you nearly blow up your own mates? How did you survive a grenade to the face?
Blast-proof armor? I don't know.
I guess. So the guys in yellow, they're the mercs, I'm guessing.
And
Well,
green, yeah.
very
Yellow and
different.
green.
Red alert.
I think the ones in green are supposed to be
Oh,
part of
right.
the.
Right.
Hey,
Things look really bad. I've got just a few miners left with me. Orion has some more, but I've lost contact with them.
What? I cannot hear
We're
you
trying to
over
reach
the
Masako before she sets off the
soundtrack.
bomb, but the doors to the Merc docking bay are sealed. I need access to these mainframes to unlock the doors, but I can't hack into them. If you shut down
Don't
their
shoot
power
him,
source,
Dwibs.
I can hack into the mainframes.
Don't worry, I'm
Can
not gonna
you
shoot
even?
him.
Take the
Yes.
elevator in the hall.
Dwibs.
Generators are
Don't worry, I'm
Dwibs.
not gonna shoot him.
Really?
How many fingers are you holding up?
So, okay,
None.
I'm curious. If you actually do shoot him, does that alter the story then?
Well, in the tutorial, if you shoot that miner, I think I said it before, but if you shoot that miner in the bit where you're supposed to holster your weapon, it automatically fails.
I get the idea Joe was referring to this moment, as in maybe if you shoot him, he doesn't do any more mission control for obvious reasons. Like you don't get any more.
I don't think you
mission
can
control.
advance. I'm not sure if it does a soft lock or what. I've never found out.
Okay,
I
now
would
I have to agree with
assume-
Jova because what Jova said before, because now some of the mercs are starting to sport red uniforms like the miner. It's getting a bit confusing.
Maybe in their faction, the different colors represent their rank, I guess.
Kind of like in what the Star Wars prequel trilogy established for the droids.
Yeah. Also, just make sure they don't get a chance to shoot Orion. No, not Orion, sorry. Hendrix.
Emergency shutoff should be on the lowest level of the generator room.
Halt or die.
I don't know if he's saying halt or die or alt or die.
Oh.
There we are, the generator room. Right, where's the magic
Approaching
button?
the generator.
I don't know.
The generator is losing power.
I don't know. I'm not seeing the face of Masako laughing repeatedly at you for a monitor.
Yeah. Interesting Crash Bandicoot reference there.
Well, as Kadikro said in the NC trilogy, Cortex is not as much laughing and more like choking on a tuna sandwich or
I
something.
thought it was burping.
Main power shutdown. Emergency generator online. Technician to generator facility.
Good work, Parker. The mainframes have powered down. They should come back up when the emergency generators kick in.
Okay, I was mentioning about the music and I still, like how it still stands. But I also get the idea they might not add too much of a field of reference because
Wait outside the generator room.
outside of the big ones, Doom and Quake, and I guess a bit Half-Life, the only other major FPS series where they could have been taking inspiration from, like I said, was the Infinity series done by Bungie on Mac. And that one, for some reason, had some music that was just okay, the first title, but in the second and third, they decided to take an approach of having absolutely no music at all during the games. So, I don't know. Thank goodness they got a composer for Halo, and a good one at that.
It's really putting us through the ringer now.
How many turrets there are?
A lot. Hendrix? Hendrix, where are you?
Get your ass to Mars.
We already are on Mars.
Yeah,
Thor.
we're trying to leave Mars. Now what?
It's
That was our
quiet.
starting point,
Too
Reeves. You came back
quiet.
from the way you came.
You're literally going in circles.
Honk.
Yeah, I just don't like picking somebody up. Make sure he's dead.
Too much Hitman memories, Reeves.
Well, you don't pick people up in that one, you just drag them across.
Say your prayers,
Now the music is starting to sound like Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
The composer was certainly inspired.
Okay, let's go.
Alright.
Come on, miner.
Come on.
Hurry, Parker. Run for the far doors. I'm going into the control room to help open things up for you.
Thanks, Hendrix.
It's useful.
Wow, look at this.
There she
Hendrix
is,
has finally come out of hiding.
Masako. So is she voiced by Goku?
No.
That doesn't sound like Sean Schemmel, but I mentioned her voice actress in the previous part, I forgot the name, but you know, you have that as a reference. But I remember distinctly
Oh,
checking...
Hendrix, no!
Now be in
He dead.
Stop them. Don't let Alter get away with it all.
God.
You seem to be almost
Okay, I don't mind Hendrix' actor at all to this point, but that death acting was not
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that did not sound
Like
like
I
he
was about to
fine.
mention, it's a constant problem, basically the entire cast. They're mostly actors who were very inexperienced when making this, and after that, they mostly just did the minor roles of one episode of some TV series.
You know,
Nothing bad, their career are not over. Some of them are still working to this very day, but it was nothing special.
I do chalk it up to a bit of disregard for the story. Like, this reminds me of how one of the creators of Doom pretty much equated the story in a video game to story in porn at the time.
Yes, John Carmack, I think it was.
Yeah, I
But-
think that's the one.
When mentioned that story in a video game is like story in a porn.
Yeah,
like
that was one of the main reasons why John Carmack and the other John, I forgot his last name.
Romero.
Yeah,
John Romero.
that was one of the big reasons why they broke up, because John Romero actually did disagree heavily with that. So basically, they kind of didn't
What
really
it came out with was Daikatana.
You know, honestly, I think it really speaks volumes, though. Those two were such an iconic duo. But on their own, however, on their own, though, they had immense faults that would keep them from reaching the success that they had as a duo.
Well, Tio, I know, I guess, yes, John Romero might have disagreed with the guys feeling that story in the game isn't necessary. But that being said, the Insane Romero's storytelling qualities weren't on par with a porno.
Yeah. Also, Jova, well. So basically, what you're saying, Jova, is that the two Johns are basically the video game equivalent of the Beatles. Basically, because the Beatles are basically the same thing.
Some of the Beatles did try to go solo, but it never really took
Well,
off.
John Lennon made "Imagine," which is one of my all-time favorite songs. So, from me, aside from maybe that song, yeah, like he didn't really do much. But yeah, when the Beatles split up, I mean, they still were able to do things, but yeah, the success they had as a group was never replicated.
It's only because Ringo's usually the one everyone remembers these days.
Mainly around here in the UK, it's mainly for voicing the narrator in Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You
And
guys
also,
didn't-
he also tried to do paintings, but let's just say they're not great.
Who did you guys in the US have at the time Ringo Starr was
Alec
doing?
Baldwin.
Some episodes, if I recall correctly, were actually narrated by George Carlin, and that just boggles my mind.
Basically,
Because
the
George
main...
Carlin is the last person that I can imagine being narrating for a children's show.
Basically, the main narrator for the US version of Thomas the Tank Engine was Alec Baldwin, which made the casting of him as Mr. Conductor somewhat poignant.
Anyway, last stretch. Yeah, the narrator around the time Ringo Starr was doing it in the UK was, they did use Ringo Starr for a bit in the US, but they mainly used George Carlin.
Yeah, like I said.
Again, Alec Baldwin as well.
Well, probably he jumped on later, because,
Also-
you know, Thomas
Hold on, hold on.
had been running for a very long time.
So, wait, hold on. Which era of Thomas were you talking about specifically?
The 80s. But anyway, here's our final boss, everybody. Masako. Masako is in one of those ships, I think.
Oh, are we going to get a nice bout of dialogue back and forth with her? Or do we pretty much just hear all we will from her?
Well, let's find out, eh?
So, I wonder, is she a woman of Asian descent?
Well, the portrait
Maybe I'll
suggests
pay a visit
that...
to your parents when I get back to Earth.
Oh, she just escaped
she's
in a
into-
pod.
There won't even
No,
be
she's
a
in that
body
one.
for them to sob over. You and the rest of the scum will be vaporized in the blast.
She doesn't
Yes.
sound so much psychotic as she sounds snarky.
Well, remember, she's apparently the leader of a PMC more than an actual... Well, being a military force, it's more of a, you know, Private ones
now-
are being government sanctioned.
Is that it?
Rocky's... Nope.
There she is.
Now she's flying around in one of those weird shield
Like the
things.
roll, like the doctor beforehand.
I guess she came prepared at least.
This
but
one
yeah,
is purple instead of blue.
But yeah, remember, Tia, the story's apparently been hinting at her to be a psychopath, as Squid's mentioned.
There we go.
And there we go. But
Oh,
we're not done yet.
oh god, she's going to activate the self-destruct in an act of defiance, isn't she?
I think she already did. She has mentioned something about in her intro dialogue.
Yes.
She seems to be down now, so...
Okay, like I said, this series seem to be playing
Hey
a bit
guys,
straightforward.
there's Eos.
Yos?
But what's...
Parker, don't just stand there gawking. Hurry up.
What's that
Masako
there?
set the timer on the bomb before she
Wait
went
a
off.
minute.
Someone
There
set
may
up
be
as the
only
bomb.
seconds left.
Yep. Okay, 5
Oh, you
seconds.
have 1 minute.
Yeah, basically, okay, this bit, you have to type in the correct code with using the arrow keys twice. And the code's randomized depending on your playthrough. If you fuck it up, the bomb will go off and you get instantly booted back to the main menu screen.
Wow, that's kind of dickish. So how are you even supposed to know the code, or is it just guesswork?
Yeah,
it's,
probably
it's random.
30 seconds until detonation.
No pressure.
Oh shit! And that's a problem. There's so many of them. I keep forgetting which one I pressed. Plus, I'm panicking because there's a timer. There we go.
Missed opportunity for a 007 reference.
Disarm it?
Yeah, let's go with that assumption.
I would say, despite the mobiles being a big gonk, they try to make the lip sync working.
Mind getting out of my
So
face.
that's
Oh,
more
it's a bit-
commendable than a lot of games done around this time.
It was out of sync for a bit in the middle.
Yeah, it's fine.
But like I said, attempt.
So what's the deep?
Oh shit.
These guys don't give up. Way.
Hey, if it was a Resident Evil game, this would be a bad thing.
That's the rescue force you called in, Parker. They'll clean up whatever mercs are left.
Phew.
Oh, I guess we win?
Yeah.
So, what now?
You're a hero, Parker. Relax, enjoy yourself. Start dating. Maybe look for a new job.
What are you gonna do?
Who knows? I won't be staying on Mars, that's for sure. Not after all this.
That
And
was
so
like
the red
sequel
faction
and,
wins. I guess.
So how do we have a series then?
I guess more evolves awaits in the future. But hey, at the very least, they kept their being faithful to the communist revolt. They literally seized the means of production. So
Okay, we're not quite done
credits are
yet.
so tiny.
Okay, we're not quite done yet because there is a little special mode after the credits.
Well, can we start our final thoughts nonetheless?
Well, I mean, it doesn't last very long anyway. I'll go first with the final thoughts, and then I'll break it. I'll break in if needed. It's fine. It is definitely a first-person shooter made in 2001. So the story is a story. It's just not a very deep one, but then again, that's not what they were going for, really. With some solid voice acting for the most part. Yeah, the voice recording was all done in Chicago. Again, except for that pretty bad death scene for Hendrix.
Poor Hendrix.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't the first to die.
It is kind of a shame that they just kill him off like that, and then... Well, okay, I get that it's the nature of these types of games back then, but I do find it a bit anticlimactic that we finally engaged Masako, only to just kill her right there.
Well, I mean, I did have cheats on, to be fair, but again, there was a lot of fire going on. But I mean, it's still a pretty fun, short blast through, if that's what you want. I haven't played any of the other games, so
for that, yeah.
haven't played any of the others though, so we'll have to wait and see before judging the series as a whole.
This is a good enough start.
And now to show off one of the extra modes of the game. Well, only extra mode. The rest is just a trailer for a game called Summoner. The Glass House section.
What?
Yeah, basically, you could just have fun breaking stuff, including the walls, so you can show off the game's
physics engine.
Spectacular physics engine, along with all the damage you can do.
Okay, I get what they were doing probably to physics, but it probably would have been more poignant if the story had a message about stones in glass houses, and they were like, see, now this is the literal version, but...
Yeah, maybe I just love doing this mode because I like seeing the glass go all over the place.
Again, it's literally a tech demo, so sure.
I can definitely imagine that back when this game was released, this was considered technically
again, it's similar to how when MGS2 came out, one of the very first things that you could do was to go to the bar and, break each individual bottle and bend the ice and, brushing it aside and seeing it melt.
Yeah.
Alright, so those are my final thoughts done anyway. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Go ahead, Jova.
Oh, this seems to be a good game. Like, it is definitely aged in some ways, but it seems like your typical PC Quake Engine-esque sort of game where, you move around rather mechanically and can do some weird stuff, but you can have a lot of fun just tearing stuff up. The game gives you a very interesting wide berth of freedom with what you can do in the game, which, again, I appreciate. The story, while not exactly Shakespearean tier, is fine enough. Again, I do find it a shame that Masako, the supposed big bad of the game, is kind of only really properly introduced in, the last, I'm gonna say, quarter of the game, and barely even dealt with. Cheats or not, it doesn't feel like she has as much presence as she could have had. But for what the game does well, it excels at for the time it was made. So, yeah, no, it's a dandy good game, and I'm looking forward to more from this franchise.
Who was saying they wanted to go next?
I'll go next, why not? Okay, pretty much what Joe said. This is still a solid title. Maybe it's not the most spectacular thing, and compared to today's standards, it might feel, feel its age in terms of mechanics and everything, but it's still respectable to me. You can kind of tell what they were trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish by having the game having an identity via its particular mechanics. The setting on Mars, and this being a revolt is just a combination of factors. My guess is that the Mars location, in terms of sci-fi being a very common type of cliche, but also to have a more familiar territories for people who grew up potentially with Doom. Only that in this case, instead of having a demon invasion, it's just instead a more realistic type of topic, like say the workers having to revolt against the oppression for their capitalist pigs. No, again, it's just solid. The only thing that's a bit odd in terms of the story, if I have to say, is how gung-ho our protagonist is, and he doesn't have too much of a personality, despite the fact that this is, more focused in trying to have cutscenes and, having characterization for the player and the other NPCs. Again, we joke that it's reflecting what Dwibs has done, but again, to put in comparison again, when the Doom Marine or Doomslayer these days, expresses its ultra-violence, the devs knew that in order to make it work as effective as it could, he will have to do that basically just on his enemies, mostly, demons from hell. Targets that ideally nobody would ever empathize too much or humanize. Instead, we'll see the sheer terror and justification because of their atrocities committed against humanity. And here, instead, it tries to be a bit more murky with the whole, yes, they are, the miners have been mistreated horribly by their workers, and the retaliation is, tenfold upon them, trying to give a bit more message onto it.
Gotta love how the game lets you kill just about anyone, even your own allies.
But their protagonist can just do whatever the fuck he wants and being as brutal as possible. I think the game loses a bit onto that front. Like I said, usually a lot of shooters have this implemented mechanic that either as a friendly NPC, when you're trying to fire the shooting button, either you don't actually fire or the character maybe moves the weapon upward to signify, no, I don't want to kill this person. And again, the fact that they kept them tells me that they wanted to give potentially a bit more freedom to the player, potentially. But I believe the story loses a bit because of this. I don't know. I get the idea they should have, put more story justification in order to allow you to do that. Not necessarily a morality system, because I get the idea it would have complicated things too much. But I don't know. Like, maybe it was just, an overstatement, potentially. I don't know. Like, it's not like it ruins the game anyway, it just makes it a bit more goofy on that front. But no, seems decent enough. And like Jova said, I'm curious to see what the rest of the series has to offer. Pedro?
Seems fine, I guess. Like, it's not really something for me, but it looks like it gets the job done for the time that it was made. I mean, the story's pretty goofy, but considering the time, that's expected. The graphics look fine, and the music is, I guess, fine too. The voice acting is kind of funny. I'll give it for me, like so. But that being said, yeah, it's probably on the higher end of the spectrum for the time as well. Yeah, it's fine. I don't have really much to say about this.
And with that, that concludes our playthrough of Red Faction. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll probably get to Red Faction 2 at some point, maybe. I don't know yet. But regardless, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Ta-ta.